I'm Olivia, 28 years old now, but it was 3 years ago when my world split in two. That's when I chose to marry Nathan, 30, against my parents' wishes. The Blackwell family, my family, had certain expectations, and Nathan didn't meet a single one of them. The Blackwells weren't just wealthy. They were old money with a financial consulting firm that had served elite clients for generations. My parents, Richard and Eleanor Blackwell, expected their daughters to maintain certain standards, marry within our social circle, join the family business, and uphold the Blackwell legacy. Before we continue with today's story, if you're enjoying what you've heard so far, please hit that subscribe button. Every new subscriber helps me keep sharing these inspiring tales that touch your day. Thank you for your support. Nathan Griffin worked as a maintenance supervisor at the office building where I worked in marketing. We met during my lunch breaks, his smile catching my eye long before I knew anything about his background. After gathering my courage, I asked him out for coffee. One date turned into many, and within 6 months, I knew he was the one. My younger sister Audrey, always the perfect daughter, warned me before I brought Nathan home. They'll never accept him live. He's not one of us. I ignored her. Surely my parents would see in Nathan what I saw: kindness, integrity, and a work ethic that put most of my parents' social circle to shame. The first dinner was pleasant enough, but as soon as Nathan mentioned his father was a school custodian and his mother a homemaker who cared for his 2 younger brothers, I watched my parents' expressions harden. Nathan had started working right after high school to help support his family. No college degree, no trust fund, no connections. "You're from different worlds," my mother said privately after he left. "These relationships never last. He'll break your heart. Or worse, he's only after your money." For the next year and a half, my parents made their disapproval known at every opportunity. Meanwhile, Audrey followed the perfect Blackwell path: business school, joining the family firm, dating the son of another wealthy family. When Nathan proposed with a modest ring he'd saved months to buy, my answer was immediate: yes. When I called my parents with the news, my father's response was equally swift: "If you marry him, you're no longer a Blackwell. Audrey will inherit everything. Is that what you want?" I remember laughing, which only made him angrier. "Dad, I don't want your money. I want a partner who loves me for who I am." 3 months before our wedding, my parents made good on their threat. At a family gathering, they formally announced I was being removed from their will and from the family. According to them, Nathan only wanted me for my money, and they were protecting me by forcing me to see the truth. Nathan's reaction when I told him was simple: "Then we'll build our own life." And we did. After our wedding, which not a single Blackwell attended, Nathan received a promotion to facilities manager with a significant raise. I continued working in marketing. We bought a small but comfortable home, saved diligently, and created a loving partnership free from the pretension that had defined my childhood. Nathan's family embraced me completely. His parents treated me like their own daughter. His brothers became the siblings I'd always wished for. For the first time, I experienced what family should feel like: supportive, accepting, and full of genuine love. 3 years passed without a word from the Blackwells. Then, last month, I discovered I was pregnant. We were overjoyed but agreed to keep it quiet in the early months. Somehow, the news leaked to extended family members. That's when I received a text from Audrey, the first contact in 3 years. "Mom and Dad are coming to see you." Audrey's message read. They found out about the baby. She went on to explain why she was warning me. A year ago, our parents had matched her with the heir to another fortune. The relationship progressed well, and they got engaged. Before announcing the engagement, his family insisted on fertility testing. Apparently, he'd been deceived before by someone who couldn't have children. The tests revealed Audrey couldn't conceive. Her fiancé broke off the engagement, and our parents were devastated, not for Audrey's heartbreak, but for the loss of potential grandchildren to carry on the Blackwell name. "They blame me," Audrey wrote. "Now they've heard you're pregnant, and suddenly you're valuable again. Thought you should know what's coming." I discussed the message with Nathan that night. "They cut us off when we needed family the most," he said, holding my hand. "Now they want to be grandparents when it's convenient for them. That's not how family works." I agreed. My parents didn't deserve a relationship with our child after how they'd treated us, and how they were still treating Audrey. 3 days later, there was a knock at our door. My parents stood on the porch, smiling as if nothing had happened. "Olivia, darling." My mother embraced me while my father looked on, beaming. We heard the wonderful news. We've come to reconcile. We have gifts in the car, my father added. About $40,000 worth. For the baby and to make up for lost time. I was wearing loose clothing that hid my small baby bump, so I made a split-second decision. I'm not sure what news you've heard, I said coldly. But I recently spoke with Audrey and know exactly why you're here. Even if I were pregnant, I wouldn't want to reconcile with people who only want me back because I can give them grandchildren. I looked directly at my father. And for the record, I know my worth. It's certainly more than $40,000. Then I closed the door. The next day, I received a long message from my father. We've wanted to reconcile for years, but we were told you still hated us, he wrote. We waited for the right time, and that was our mistake. We should have reached out sooner. He apologized for misjudging Nathan and claimed they were only trying to protect me from potential heartbreak. He insisted they'd learned their lesson. Then he turned on Audrey, claiming she hadn't told me the whole truth, that her fiancé left her not just because of infertility, but because of anger issues and insecurity. We just want to make things right, he finished. The gifts were just a small token of our regret. This message left me confused and questioning everything. Was I being too harsh? Had they truly changed? I showed Nathan the message that night. His response was measured but clear. If they really regretted how they treated us, why wait 3 years to apologize? Why didn't they reach out to me directly if they were genuinely sorry for misjudging me? And most importantly, would they be here if you weren't pregnant? He was right. Their message contained subtle manipulations and attempts to drive a wedge between Audrey and me. The timing was too convenient. They hadn't changed at all. I decided not to respond, and I wouldn't reach out to Audrey either. She had warned me about our parents, but that didn't erase her years of silence or her participation in my exclusion. She had only contacted me now because she was angry with our parents, not because she cared about me. 2 weeks passed with no further contact. Then, one Sunday evening, another knock came at our door. Nathan peeked through the window. It's your parents again. I was tired from pregnancy and not in the mood for confrontation. Tell them to leave. Nathan opened the door just enough to politely ask them to go, explaining that now wasn't a good time. Instead of respecting our wishes, they raised their voices, demanding to be heard. The commotion forced me out of our bedroom. We raised you, my mother cried. The least you can do is hear us out. You're stealing our chance to be grandparents over one little mistake 3 years ago, my father added. Something in me snapped. A little mistake? You disowned me from marrying a good man. And now you're here, not because you love me, but because I'm carrying your only chance for a grandchild. My mother began crying dramatically. We've already lost our chance with Audrey. How can you be so cold? That was the last straw. To be good grandparents, you first need to be decent parents, I said, my voice trembling with emotion. You failed with me because I didn't fit your plans. Then you failed Audrey, your perfect daughter who did everything right her whole life, until she couldn't give you grandchildren. You reduced her to just one condition and pushed her away. I took a deep breath. If you were truly sorry, you'd respect my boundaries instead of showing up uninvited and making demands. Please leave, or I'll have to call the police. They finally left, and though I was emotionally drained, I felt lighter for having spoken my truth. 3 months passed. My pregnancy progressed normally, with my baby due in just a few months. My parents finally respected my wishes and stayed away. According to family gossip, Audrey had quit the family business and moved away. Then I received a call from my parents' lawyer, the same one who had notified me of my disinheritance 3 years ago. This time, he informed me that my parents had changed their will again. I was back in as an heir. This gesture hasn't changed my feelings toward them, but it has made me think about the future. The Blackwell firm could do a lot of good under different leadership, perhaps mine and Nathan's. There would be a certain poetic justice in that. I'm considering a proposal. If my parents are truly remorseful, they can prove it by signing the business over to Nathan and me after their retirement. In return, we might consider allowing them a relationship with their grandchild. Audrey would be welcome to work with us if she wanted. After all, she and I were both victims of our parents' conditional love. For now, my focus is on my pregnancy and the healthy family Nathan and I are building. One based on acceptance, support, and unconditional love. The kind of family I never had growing up, but the kind our child will always know. Sometimes, losing a toxic family is the only way to find your true worth.